So, today I'll be interviewing Michelle O. And she is an atheist. And we're going to talk her beliefs, customs, traditions, and anything that she incorporates into her non-religious activities. So,
Hi.
were you always an atheist?
No, I actually was brought up Catholic. I went to a Catholic grade school. I went to Catholic school for 12 years of my life. It wasn't until my senior year of high school that I went to a public school, and that kind of influenced it. You know, my freshman year especially, I started questioning things. You know, just asking, why is it like this? Why do things? And I was told to be quiet, to follow what I was told, and not to question anything. And that didn't sit well with me. I'm a very stubborn person, and I've always been inquisitive. And that, you know, being told not to question, you know, just believe, it didn't sit well. So I started to poke more and prod more and ask more questions. And kind of like that's what led me down the slippery slope of, you know, becoming an agnostic and then, you know, embracing atheism.
So, agnostic.
Yes.
Because I so messed it up.
That's okay. You're good.
What exactly is that? Because it looks like you went from one to a next step.
Yeah. Basically, like, agnostics believe that there is a God, but just that humans really aren't capable of understanding what said deity is. And just you're kind of open to the concept of there being a deity, just not necessarily one that, you know, but whether it be, you know, Buddhism or Christianity or what have you. And that's kind of where I was for a while, because, like, I really don't think humans are capable of fully understanding, you know, everything that's out there as it is. And then I read a book by Penn Jillette, who you might have heard of, like Penn and Teller, they're magicians. They were famous years ago. But he's a very outspoken atheist. And, you know, he's also very humorous. You know, he's really funny. And one of the essays in this book was basically like, you know, agnostics are just, you know, open your eyes. You know, you just don't want to admit that you're an atheist. You know, think about it. You know, you're too afraid to take that final step from, you know, being religious to being an atheist. And it really got me to think. And that's kind of why I identify as an atheist now. You know, that's kind of what made me go, you know what, I can understand that. I can kind of see where that's coming from. You know?
And how long have you been an atheist?
Oh my gosh. Probably 10 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you ever have any meetings? Because I know you guys probably don't have services.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have meetings, fellowships where you guys get together?
There is a Pittsburgh Skeptics group that I have been toying with joining for a while.
Now, when you talk to other people who are Christian or Jewish or Buddhist, how does your conversations go? Because you seem very calm, very laid back, unconfrontational. Whereas I know sometimes they can be. How do you handle that when, you know, you're just asking them that famous why question?
Yeah. I do try to be pretty open-minded. I think that I actually find religions fascinating. I think they're really interesting, and I really enjoy having discussions with people of all faiths and, you know, or lack thereof. I think it's really interesting to ask people, you know, what they believe and why. Most of the time, people are cool with it, because I'm not confrontational. You know, I really don't. I enjoy talking to people, you know, about what they believe. And, you know, even though I may not necessarily agree with them, I still really enjoy hearing, you know, where they come from and why they believe what they believe. Although I have certainly had certain people that don't like that just being told, you know, just me saying that I'm an atheist makes them attack me. And that's scary, you know, because I'm a pacifist. I don't like fighting, whether it be verbally or physically. I would never, you know. I'm the kind of person that would let someone probably punch me into oblivion before I would fight back. You know, I don't fight back. I just, but I am very stubborn, as I said, and I will debate. I will, you know, and I'm an emotional person. You know, I'm not very logical, which is odd for an atheist, but I always think with my heart, not my head. I always have. And I can get emotional, I can get heated, but, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what made me want to do an interview with you, because when we talked, we are at like two totally different ends of the spectrum, but we understood each other. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And when I told you how I was about not necessarily being religious, but more spiritual, and it being a relationship.
Yeah, and I can
For
absolutely
me,
respect that. You know?
And then I got where you were coming from. So that, and I've noticed sometimes, I've talked to a couple of atheists, and they were extra passionate.
Yeah.
One talked so forcefully, I was like, I think it's spit on my lip.
Oh no.
But so to talk to you, it was different. It was more, I could actually get an understanding.
Yeah, and that's, I think, I just wish people in general would have more empathy. You know, regardless of what you believe. You know, it's not everybody's going to agree with you. It would be boring if everybody thought the same way.
Yes.
You know, just have empathy for everybody and try to just be open-minded and, you know, just treat others like humans.
Yes, I say understanding is like the biggest thing that we lack, because we don't understand each other.
Yeah.
We have my way is the right way, and my truth is my truth, and that's what's right. But it's not, because what works for one person doesn't always work for the next.
And it can be scary, you know. People are naturally afraid of something they don't understand. I get that, you know. And it can be scary and unsettling to have your beliefs challenged, you know, which I get that too, you know. And I never, when I talk to people about that, I never want it to be, like my mom always says, oh, you want everybody to be an atheist. No, that would be boring. You know, I just want people to think, you know, to be open-minded, to see things maybe from a slightly different point of view. And, you know, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Just think about it. That's really all I ask.
Yeah, it's like you might be a cat person, I might be a dog person, but there might be a reason I'm not a cat person, because I might be allergic to cats, so I'm not a cat person. That's why I tell people, you have to look sort of behind everything and see how did they get to where they are, versus just saying you're wrong for feeling that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's the easy way out, you know, to just automatically be like, well, you're wrong because I said so. Anybody can say that.
yes,
You know, that doesn't mean it's right.
because I feel like that it's I'd say 85% of the time there's a reason that someone is in the situation they're in, even whether it be sexuality, religious, financial, all these things have a reason behind them. About 85% of the time.
Yeah.
Because through our lives we transition and we transform.
You're not the same person today that you were yesterday.
No, because I actually started off apostolic and Pentecostal. I am now non-denominational. So I don't consider myself Baptist. I don't consider myself, you know, Methodist or anything like that. I'm non-denominational. And my relationship with God is my relationship with Him. And it's not based on anybody else or how I look or how I dress or anything like that. Because I grew up that women didn't wear makeup, women didn't cut their hair, so my hair used to be down here.
Oh, wow.
I wore very long skirts, not too many bright colors, you know. You wore the kid sneakers, you know, it was just, you know, we didn't really watch TV, we couldn't go to the movies, and it was a lot of you couldn't, and I, again, didn't understand that. I never got to the point that I was just like, oh, there's no God, but I did get to the point that why have a religion that is so specific to tell me my do's and don'ts versus having a relationship.
Yeah, that's a
And-
big part of what started me on my path too. So I totally get that.
It's like a relationship for me versus saying, hey, I have to do these things in order to make it to a better life later. I can have a good life now too, though.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, I felt like missed that.
Yeah.
They just felt like, okay, I have to live the worst life here to live a better life later.
That's something that bothered me a lot about the Catholic religion, and I mean a lot of religions
lot of
also
them are
feel
like
that way.
that.
Yeah, and even now, you know, I'll have people say things like, oh, you know, you may be suffering now, but in the next life, and it just makes me. I feel like you should live for today. You
Yes.
know, live as if you're going to die today or tomorrow, because you don't know. You don't know. Anything could happen.
And I feel that's the thing that pushes people out
Yeah.
from religion, because people put their own feelings in it. Because even in the Bible, it says live for today.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if tomorrow's coming.
Yeah.
And it's not promised to you. So, like, even when he gave them the manna, he told them, get enough for today, and I'll supply what you need tomorrow, but just get today. So it's one of those things that people sort of say things to try to make people feel better,
Yeah.
but then they don't know that they're hurting
Yeah.
somebody else because they're taking their emotions and their feelings. And it's just like, it's like me saying to you, your mom's sick, your mom has cancer and she's dying, and I'm telling you, we're going to pray, and God is going to heal her. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. Now, I can tell you, I'll pray for the best. I'll pray for strength. I'll pray that
And see, that's the right way to do it.
everybody,
Yes.
you know, that you guys, over her passing, that is smooth and that it's not as painful.
Yeah.
And I can pray for those things, but I can't wish. And that's what they're getting. Instead of saying prayers, they're wishing something better
Because of
to
course
happen.
you want someone, you know, that you care about to be healed. Of course you don't want someone you care. I mean,
But what
of course you don't want them
yeah.
to suffer.
And what happens is that when your mom dies and she doesn't get healed, and you're hurting, and she doesn't look like your mom, you're angry because you was like, well, you said God was going to do it and he didn't.
That's exactly what happened with my uncle. My uncle, who just passed in December, January, because he had cancer, and for the last year or so of his life, he was miserable, and so many people, you know, would come up to my aunt or you know me at the funeral. Well, at least he's not suffering anymore. He's in a better place, and it's like that feels like a slap in the face, you know, at least to me. And my aunt is religious. My aunt does believe that, but to me, I was like, I wish you wouldn't say that, you know.
I feel people should speak what they know,
Yeah.
not what they think.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes being overly positive instead of realistic, it's
And I mean, it
It's
comes
like
it
praying
comes
for
from a
them.
good place.
Yeah, it does.
It comes from
Because the
them
thing,
trying
they
to comfort
speak from
the
their
grieving.
emotions.
You know, yes, yeah, and I get that. But when you're in the heat of it, sometimes that's hard to see. You know, when
Yes.
you're the one grieving, that I feel like that's harder to see because you're in the eye of the storm, so to speak.
and even some people who are grieving, they use it as a coping to say, okay, they hurt here, so they died and they're better
Yeah, yeah,
now.
And then print it that
It's
way,
just for me, I say speak realistically.
yeah.
Say we're going to pray for the best, but we have to prepare for the worst. And that's always been me. And I guess
And that's
because
smart, I think.
I've
you know.
gone through so many bouts of, I've gone through cancer and different, like, I have blood clots, PEs in my lungs. And the guy at church told me that, you know, he got an unctioning that I would be healed and wouldn't need my medicine. And I said, okay. But I still took my medicine because I had common sense. I still took and it was funny because he told me, he said, don't stop taking it. He said, but
Funny, huh?
he said, but you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because I was really nervous. I was afraid. And they told me I would take them for the rest of my life. Well, 3 years later, I don't take them anymore. My doctors have no idea what happened. They really don't. They're just like,
Yeah.
you don't have them anymore. I do, because of my religious belief, I believe that my faith, along with other things, had something to do with it. So for me, I feel like some people are so unrealistic that they make it like it's a myth per se.
Yeah.
Because they are so unrealistic. They'll be like, "Oh, take that medicine and throw it away." Wait a minute.
Yeah.
God made doctors
like,
for
hold
a
on a
reason.
second.
He
Yeah.
made, and he never told me not to go. He just said, "You won't have to take this for the rest of your life." He said, "I don't believe that. Don't listen to them. You won't have to take it for the rest of your life. You're gonna be okay."
That's another big problem I have with religion is, these people who I just heard about this a few months ago. These people that their toddler was sick, and how they'll pray and he'll get better, and the boy died because he ended up with this high fever, and if they had taken him to a doctor, they would have saved him. It was a very simple thing, but because they didn't believe, they believed that if you pray, they will be healed. This little boy died, and it's mind-boggling to me to think that this innocent life was cut short because the parents were, "Oh, well, we'll pray and it'll heal him."
Well, I have faith. I do. But
And
I
that
still
can-
go
and
to
that
I have
can-
faith and insurance.
See, that's the thing. It's okay to if it comforts you to pray, that's fine. I get it. We all need comfort.
Yeah, but I still go
for
to the
crying
doctor.
out loud, don't
I hit that. I got
Yeah.
sick. The chest hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
I went to the ER.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's the thing,
yeah.
because my pastor takes medicine, he goes to the doctor, but he still yet prays.
Yeah.
And I can say this. I know sometimes when I'm feeling down, I actually get really sick. And then when I'm not as depressed or anything like that, I feel a lot better.
Oh yeah, your mind is so powerful, and whether you call it good vibes or praying or what have you, it absolutely has an effect on you.
Yes, and
You
that's
know?
why I tell people, like, faith for someone who is spiritual. Because I really don't like the word religious. I hate that word.
yeah.
But for someone who is spiritual, it is what to you would be positive vibe.
Yes,
It
exactly.
is believing, and like Buddhists, it would be karma. And I look at people and I say, why we can't all just sort of agree? Because at the core of it, we all believe the same
Yeah.
thing. It's just we sort of believe it's coming from different places.
Yeah, and that's something that that bothers me about how why if you're religious, if you're a Christian, why would you bash someone who believes in Buddha? Why would you it's the core of it is the same. That's why the whole golden rule is the thing. Treat others like you want to be treated. And that basic tenet, I feel like, is in all religions,
It is.
And even as an atheist, I always get told, "Oh, you don't have morals. How do you know what to believe? How do you know that it's wrong to kill someone because you don't believe in a God that tells you not to kill?" I guess this has been said to me. I'm told that. I've had people say to me, "Well, if you're an atheist, then why don't you just, go? What stops you from killing people? What stops you from just not being kind to anyone?" It's crazy to me. I wouldn't want to randomly walk up to somebody and punch them in the face because I certainly wouldn't want someone to do that to me. I feel pain. I know I know what it feels like, and I don't need some God that may or may not exist to tell me that it's wrong to cause pain to somebody else.
Well, like, because Christians commit crime.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's I don't know, that
Yeah.
was
No, I've
bewildering to
had
me.
that. I've had some pretty nasty things said to me.
This has been a very interesting conversation, our first one and
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
it
up for it
really
more for as many as you
has
like to.
opened up, and it lets me know that I am on the right track. Because I do look at sometimes people that I'm just like, you are just on an appearance of what things look like, but it's more about who you are as a person. And just speaking to you, you seem that, hey, I don't have to have somebody to tell me to do good, or a deity to tell me that I need to do things right.
That's exactly what it is at the core of it.
I have to do it for me, but it's one of those, it makes it more self-awareness. versus saying, and you're doing things that you truly want to do versus because you're following a crowd or because somebody said you should or something like that.
Yeah, and that's something else, that I do that really led me to the path of atheism as well. Like, being brought up Catholic and being told this is what you believe, this is what you follow. If you believe that your whole life, if you've never questioned it, if you've never thought about other things, is it really faith? Like, if you've never thought about it, if you've never been tested, if you've never wondered, is it really, like, can you really call yourself a Christian or, a Buddhist or what have you, if you never really thought about it, if you only follow that because if it's totally blind faith and totally, there's no questioning, if you've never been tested, is it really, and that's something that led me on my path.
Yeah, and I'll agree to that because my father's a pastor, and my dad has studied many religions, not just ours. And he has a philosophy that I must know what they believe in order to speak to them. He said, because I can't tell them they're wrong, or I can't tell them, hey, you're not on the right path, or any of these things if I truly don't know what it is they believe.
And I wish more religious people understood that, because that's, I feel like that is at the core of what causes so many problems, infighting between religions and between atheists and such, is that you don't try to see things from, again, comes back to trying to see things from somebody else's point of view. You know?
So do atheists, like, what do they consider themselves? Do they consider themselves non-religious? I am non-denominational, but I am Christian. When it comes to atheists, like, you know how you have like your Muslims, your Buddhists, Hindu, Jewish. Like, do y'all consider yourselves anything, or it's just we're just atheists?
Yeah, that's basically it. You're just atheist because it's basically being lack of faith. Like, that's theist. But yeah, if you're an atheist, it just means that you don't really believe that any religion. That, I guess I just don't believe that there is an invisible, man in the sky telling me what I should and shouldn't do. It's hard to put into words sometimes, but
I understand.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. You don't believe that there's like a puppet master up there whispering things.
Yeah, we're the masters of our own destinies, for good or for ill, and I do believe that when you die, that's it, that there is no afterlife. I used to kind of sort of believe in reincarnation, but I don't. No, not really. It's a nice concept. Thinking of an afterlife, it's a nice concept, and I totally understand. Death is scary. I totally understand wanting to believe that when you die, that your spirit lives on, and I don't believe that anymore. I used to, but that's why I feel like you should live this life to the fullest, and treat people kindly, and you just live a full, happy life, as happy as you possibly can be.
And I look at it for me that whatever your walk is in this life, no matter how spiritual or unspiritual it is, it's still yours. And like you said, live it to the fullest, and always be open, because we're always growing and we're always changing.
That's even as an atheist, I'm still open to the possibility that there's a God. I don't really think there is one, but I'm open to the possibility. And if it was proven to me, would I acknowledge it? Absolutely, certainly. I feel like there's a lot of atheists that are very adamant. There's a lot of atheists that are very, it's not something I have to deal with, because I'll never be presented with the proof that there is a God, so I don't even have to address that. But it's possible. Of course it's possible. I feel like anything's possible. Heck, Think about how we have cell phones now. It's a computer more powerful than anything. If you were to show that to someone from 20 years ago, they would be amazed.
Yeah, that you can have
You
a
know,
home
but
and
yeah,
look and put pictures on it.
yeah. So
They were
anything's
amazed when they
possible.
had, even though my 16-year-old does not believe in God. Whereas I think if I had have told my parents when I was 16, oh, I don't believe in God, they would have choked me to death.
Oh yes, I was in an awful lot of trouble whenever.
My son wasn't. Now, because he does live with my mom and dad, now he is required to go to church. For me, just go leave the house.
That's the way it was for me as well. I was forced, and one day I finally said, you know what? I feel like this is doing your faith a disservice. By you forcing me to go to church, I feel like I'm insulting your faith, because the whole time I'm here, I'm rolling my eyes, and I mean, I was an angsty teenager, you know, we all were. But I feel like by you forcing me to go, I'm sitting here rolling my eyes going, this is ridiculous, this is so stupid. Why would you force me to go? I don't, when I was younger, I was that atheist, you know, the one who would always be like, well, you're wrong. I mean, you know, but I was just frustrated with a lot of
Because it was
things.
forced, you were being great. I really enjoyed this.
And I love talking about things like this. If I can get even one person to kind of listen and maybe go, oh, that's interesting. Well,
Yes,
that's
this
awesome,
is going on
you know?
YouTube, so people are going to listen.
Oh, geez.